passing them inside the core, and gently, like before, we pull them, making sure that the enamel of their wires is not stripped off. Like this. So now this is let me readjust the camera a bit. So now this is our semi-completed transformer. I'm gonna cut this end. I will leave some half of a centimeter from one side and about the same on the other side. Now we'll strip off the ends of the wiring. Like I did before for the other transformer. Carefully and gently. And I'm gonna do this without taking the video so that we can save some video time and show you the final result. It's almost completed. I need to do one more. Notice how I have opened the wirings here, and while you do the stripping of the enamel in one wiring, make sure you don't damage the other one. So this has to be done carefully. It would be a good idea to use tweezers to hold the transformer, as I did in the other one. If you find it difficult to hold it with your hand, with your fingers, make sure you strip well the enamel all the way around the wire. I think that's ready. So let's tin this now. the next step is to find the beginnings and the ends of the wirings. Remember from the diagram that this point here is the beginning of the first wiring, and this is the beginning of the second wiring. So we know the beginnings, but it's difficult to identify the ends of the wirings after the windings have been done onto the core. So we will use a multimeter to identify the end of the two windings. And I have repositioned the camera a bit to show you also the core. So here's the core. And you notice that there are two windings at the beginning, 1 and 2 at the bottom, and two ends of the wirings at the end, 1, 2. We know that these wirings are the beginnings, but we don't know which one of the end wirings is actually the first wiring, and which one is the second. So we will identify it using a multimeter. So I use my multimeter in the short circuit operation. When I touch the probes, you will hear a tone, and we will use this to find the beginnings and the ends of the windings. I touch the multimeter to one end of the wiring, and I try to identify which one is which. Let me start at this side. Yes. So now this wiring starts from this point and ends to this point. This is the first winding. And the other winding starts from this point and ends at this point. Let's verify this also. Okay, so first wiring starts from here and ends here, and the second winding starts from there and ends there at the bottom one. We now have to create the tap, and the tap is done as I showed you previously. Is taken from the end of the first wiring and the beginning of the second wiring. If we consider our first winding to be the bottom one here, then the end of the first wiring will be this one, the bottom at the other side, and this point here has to be connected to the beginning of the second wiring. So we need to connect this point here at the bottom